Brant Rogers, and I teach Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction training. It was an 8-week training, and what they found was profound changes in people's experience of pain, their sense of well-being, and on and on. So that's meditation training for every element of life, for anxiety and for chronic pain, for acid reflux, all kinds of sleep levels, that sort of thing. So it's just very helpful in very general sense. It's really coming to balance heart, mind, and body.
And I'd find myself not living in the moment. So the class really helps to slow down and just.
I think the benefits for me is I feel like I'm going through a process of like healing my body from head to toe. And
the experiences and the practices made for a calmer, more appropriate, and more responsive interactions with students and other staff members.
A period of time that I really learned a lot. I was amazed by that. And I would say really MBSR, that happened a lot. Things that I was skeptical about or was sort of dreading. And as I got into it and through it, realized what a benefit it was for me.
Yeah. Because it's good to be hypervigilant, of course, in some situations. But then you also need, you need to live. And I can't be hypervigilant every time I'm trying to pick out broccoli.
So as a licensed clinical social worker, I work with children, I work with teens, and I work with adults. And I integrate the use of mindfulness with all ages and really with all kinds of issues. I don't think that there is anybody that shouldn't be doing this because it has such profound impact. I can use it with kids, same with teens who can be kind of resistant. They too have learned these practices and it's helpful. So I think it's good for everyone.
I do believe that at a family level, practicing meditations has really helped us just be more thoughtful and compassionate with one another. And it just allows us to enjoy more the time that we have together because we're present.
I was telling Braden that morning that I was going to be at class that night. And what did you say about the class, Braden?
I think the class is working and she's less stressed out and she's calmer.
Yeah, what do you think, Maddox?
I think the class is working because she's less stressed out and happy. Before she wasn't happy and she was really stressed out.
So, there you have it.
Amazing. Of course, my blood pressure went from 146 over 95 down to 101 over like 77. Good thing. Bad thing I found out, I've got to keep it up.
For anybody who, just really has a hard time, I think most of us in this profession do, of turning the brain off. And that, I keep talking about transitions, but that transition after night calls and trying to get back to sleep and to allow yourself to let those thoughts come and go, either about the call or about what you have to do the next day, but sort of just learning to live with those and being okay with them and being able to transition back to sleep again. Because I for years have struggled with that, and I've tried different sound machines and different distractions, white noise and the like, and really the most helpful for me has been that acknowledgement of the thoughts, but not feeling as though I've got to get mired down with them. It's been the biggest.
Scientists can see, using sophisticated neural imaging, what's happening in our brain as we learn this. Yeah. This is really cool.
It has saved me in my everyday life from literally losing my mind more times than I can articulate, especially with all the changes that COVID brought us, all the challenges that the post-COVID world is bringing our students and their families and our personal families.
I don't give myself credit, and I judge, and just then with the anxiety, it makes it feel like I can never be successful, happy, and whole. And so through this, class, I've been thinking back for the last 20 years of my life, and I'm thinking, what was I thinking about so much? You know, what was all the, how come I couldn't make it stop? And because now it's not there. And I know that I didn't make it stop. I'm just not I'm not lingering on it like I was before.
I see so many, and that's another thing, the empathy level goes up real high because you realize everyone's hurting. Everyone has the confetti thoughts that they have to cut through to get to the moment. And when you realize that, your heart just wants to go out to everybody.
I appreciate the laughter that we have, because with Brant, there's a lot of laughter. There are a lot of still moments of joy and of pain and of revelation for people that I get to be a part of if I'm here and if I'm honest. And so I really appreciated that. I appreciated the live culture of a room of people who were looking for the same thing I was looking for, but coming from a different place from me. And I really appreciated that.
Into it. So I'm more present around family and friends and whatnot, more in the moment. I'm trying to, tame the squirrels, the thoughts that come into your head and hijack what you're doing. And I could see that translating into work. If we were in a situation where we're taking someone into custody, you could have a lot of things going on outside of your 10 hours at work that could be hijacking your thoughts when you really need to be paying attention to the guy that you're dealing with.
Being able to be authentic, understand who you are and how you are in a situation, I think is key to our safety. Now, I think that mindfulness is a great tool for that. We harbor so dang much in trying to be a certain way, and it's like, oh, mindfulness is going to be soft. You're going to, what I find is if you start becoming in tune, you enable yourself to actually be more direct. You enable yourself to actually
to be aware I'm having this thought, or this is triggering this for me, and then having practiced observing that's there, but choosing to focus on where I am right now, and move forward. And that, I think, was really one of the biggest benefits for me personally, was how to deal with that sort of a trauma and a negative side of life, and not have it overwhelm my personal life. No, so that makes sense.
Very much.
And I think that these are tools that are useful for any facet of anyone's life, really, because we have one chance at this life, and hopefully we want to be in it. Yeah.